What's good, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadowloke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's free. It don't cost anything. You help my channel get into the algorithm. I'd highly appreciate it. Now, what we're here to talk about is one serial killer named Albert Fish. Right? Albert Fish was a twisted, lunatic, sickening individual who would kill little children. Right? He was a pedophile, right? And a cannibal. So he ate his victims. And I'm gonna play an audio of his own words, coming the very words out of the very same individual, to give you guys a glimpse and an idea of how twisted this individual was. So this is not for the weak-hearted. You know what I mean? If you can't really stomach all of that, I suggest you click out of the video because it's gonna get graphic and it's gonna get real up in here. You know what I mean? Just to give a glimpse of the twisted mind of this individual, right? So we'll play the video and then I'll give my thoughts after, right, of the overall individual. But with no further ado, I already gave you guys warnings. So let's get into it. Like I said, bro, because it's about to get real. I'm over here messing up. There we go. Shadow can't get it together, bro.
Pekka. I saw she suffered from my strangulation.
Whoops.
The police at the tombs asked if I drank the girl's blood. I denied it. I said it was all bunk. But it was true. I drank about 1 or 2 swallows, good swallows, and swallowed some. But I spat out most. It tasted sickening, nauseating. If I'd drunk any more, I would have vomited. I had that feeling. I cut off all the flesh around her breast, just the beginning of the breast she had, where her teat was, and the flesh off her belly and legs, and all the meat I could get off her behind. I took it home, I cooked it over the gas stove, broiled it. I ate all of it, every bit of it. Not all at once, it tasted to me like veal. I had other things with it, onions, carrots and gravy. I got a hard one when I ate it. I masturbated sometimes, several times a night during the day. I ate it. I always had a desire to eat human flesh, ever since I was told of cannibalism by my brother, the sailor, when I was a boy. He was in China and in Fiji Islands. I intended to violate her. I took my clothes off. I told them so I wouldn't get blood on me, but that wasn't what I had in mind. I was asked so many questions after I was arrested, I couldn't get my mind together. She picked flowers. I stripped to near the room. I went to the window and called Grace. When she saw me naked, she screamed and said, "I'll call Mama." I grabbed her by the throat and almost carried her to the room and laid her on the floor and attempted to violate her. She kicked and struggled. I had a hard one. I wanted to quiet her first. She was losing consciousness and said, "Kiss me," and played 3 or 4 times with my pecker. I saw she suffered from my strangulation. I placed my knee on her chest to squeeze the breath out of her, to get her out of her misery. I intended to violate her first, and to beat her afterwards. She was too far gone. She was practically gone. Right then, I would have given every drop of blood to bring her back to life. I intended to violate her first and then switch her. I had some switches in her behind. I always had in mind only whipping. Where I was whipped myself in the home, I didn't think she would put up such a struggle. She was a frail-looking child. She gave me the surprise of my life. I intended to take the boy, to cut his pecker off, split it open, and then whip him on his behind. They asked if I didn't think it was a fatal affair. I said, that would be a fatal affair. I intended to whip him until he bled. I would have left the boy in the house tied up and gone back to my room, packed up my things, and left town. I had another vision in the jail about a week after I got here. I woke up with a start. The guard had just passed at 2 a.m. I saw the same vision, a brother reaching in the same way with a pistol in his hand. I jumped up with a start and yelled, and asked Pat if there was anybody in the next cell. I knew the cells were empty. I drank the blood when I cut the head off. I had a large painting pail, a £50 paint pot that I had sandpapered out clean. Most all that afternoon, I had a hard one. I combed the first time when I was cutting the body up. The second time, on my way home, I came right in my pants while I was carrying the meat, thinking of the child, how she looked in life, and what my intentions were. I got no pleasure out of choking her to death. 9. They asked if I didn't think it was a fatal. It was past at 2 a.m. I put out clean. Most all that afternoon, I had a hard one. I combed the first time when I was cutting the body up.
You hear this?
The second time, on my way home, I came right in my pants while I was carrying the meat, thinking of the child, how she looked in life, and what my intentions were. I got no pleasure out of choking her.
Okay, that's just a glimpse out of his own words, to give you guys an idea of the twisted, demented mind of Albert Fish. Right? He says it so nonchalant, right? Like if it's effortlessly to him, you know, like it's nothing to him, right? Like if telling a story like about anything else, he's telling a story about killing and eating a little girl, and he says it so like nonchalant, bro. Anywho, okay, so just to give a glimpse idea of the sick individuals that live in this world, right? What kind of people are actually amongst us, right? This is not a horror movie, a fictional. This is not something that's made up. Nothing. This is real life events, real life shit that has happened, bro. And the disturbing and crazy individuals that have walked amongst us, right? Who could be your neighbors, brothers, sisters, anybody, right? It's crazy, right? You know what kind of individuals have really been amongst us, right? When we talk about what is truly evil. Now, Albert Fish. Let's talk about Albert Fish's childhood, right? He wasn't born Albert Fish. He was born, was it a Hensley Fish or something like that, right? But anyhow, he was born to, you know, his father, his mother. Now, growing up, you know, was rough. It was rough for them, right? So the father died of a heart attack. So the mother, you know, really didn't have no skills, no money. So she really couldn't take care of, you know, him, his older siblings, right? Because he was the youngest. So she left him in an orphanage, right? Because, you know, she was, you know, didn't have no money to support him. So she left him in an orphanage. Why only him and not his siblings? Who knows, right? So that in itself, he probably felt, you know, some resentment there, right? Because she only left him and not his siblings. So it's like, what? What's the reason for it? So he probably already felt some type of way. Now, while he was in this orphanage at a young age, he would get abused and molested in that orphanage, right? They would line the kids up, you know, butt naked. They would whip them, beat them, and sexually assault all these, you know, children, right? And with time going by, Albert started realizing that he liked the feeling, right? He liked when they used to beat him and everything, you know. He became aroused, right? So he used to get like, you know, he used to get a hard on when he was getting beat. So it would get him beat even harder. Now he was getting beat even more now and picked on more because now, you know, he's getting aroused, and people thought that was weird, right? So now he was getting picked on, made fun of by everybody around him, and now beaten and harassed even more. Right? So then his mom ended up, you know, becoming stable, whatever. So she ended up coming back and getting Albert after a while, right? But let's just say the damage has already been done, right? So he probably had a lot of resentment, and that is a lot for a child to, you know, suffer at a young age, right? It's going to create a lot of psychological trauma, right? The abuse, you know, the molestation. I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to justify these individuals' actions, right? I'm just here to, you know, when people talk about these individuals are sickening and everything, and all very true, all very gruesome and true, and man, it's despicable, right? What these individuals have done. But when you want to tackle a problem, let's get to the source. Why these individuals became this way? You know, what makes them different from any other individual that grew up, you know, because we all grew up, you know, not becoming this way. So, you know, the differences and matching it all up, right? Like what could have played a factor here, right? And, you know, a lot of times these individuals have a lot of scandalous ass backgrounds when they're coming up, you know what I mean? Albert Fish being no different, right? Being molested and, you know, abandoned and all kinds of shit, right? So he probably created a twisted individual, right? Because he was addicted to pain, right? He used to stick, nails up his own rectum, you know what I mean? And he used to whip and slap himself with a paddle full of nails. He used to like, beating his victims, right? He used to chop up pieces of their butt and eat them, drink their blood off of it. He used to do all kinds of sickening stuff to his victims, right? Slice open penises and all kinds of stuff that you guys, man, it's crazy, bro. And he used to be weird. He had kids himself. He had a family. He had a wife and kids and everything like that. He was always there for his kids. He never did nothing wrong to his kids. He was actually a good dad to his kids. Strange as it is, his wife ended up cheating on him and leaving him for the handyman. As a matter of fact, there was a time in his life where she had the handyman living in his house, right? Because his job, he would travel to different states, for his work, right? So he would be gone for a long period of time. So his wife actually had her Sancho living in their house in the attic, right? So he would be at the pad and not notice anything, and the Sancho was living in the attic, right? And it wasn't until his dog led him up there that he went to go see what's up that he found the guy, right? He already knew about this guy because the mom had sent the kids to the movie theater, and she took everything, the furniture and everything, she left with the Sancho. And then the kids were stranded and they were like, hey, mom, she just left us. So then he came and he picked up the kids and he was like, damn, what is what it is. Got himself a new pad, to make sure his kids were taken care of. Even though he was sickening and taking kids and doing all this sickening stuff to him, he always took care of his kids, which was, awfully strange. And they knew his dad was weird because they would catch his dad in the middle of the night, butt naked in his room, whipping himself and slapping himself with paddles full of nails. So they knew their dad was a little off, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell, and there was a time even his son confronted him about his sex toys and all this crazy stuff. But he was just said that, that's just how he got his kinks, you know what I mean? He also got his kinks by eating his own poop. And having their victims eat their own poop and everything, it would turn them on, right? Having shit all over the place and eating it, and oh my god, just stuff that you guys wouldn't even be able to imagine, bro, or wouldn't even want to imagine, right? This is the stuff that would turn this man on, So, drinking blood and eating crap and bro. I can't even go into details no more because I probably would vomit, bro, because I'm already feeling a little nauseous. I ain't even gonna lie. Right? So Albert Fish was one of America's most sickening, disturbing, twisted individuals, right? But that was just a little glimpse on the inside of his childhood, of how important it is to be a parent in a child's life. Because let's look at the factors. If his parents would have been there for him, wouldn't have abandoned him, he wouldn't have gotten abused. Would he have turned out to be the individual that he turned out to be? You know what I mean? Now that's not to give this individual sympathy or nothing like that, because that doesn't excuse the actions, right? But could this have been avoided? And if it would have been avoided, a lot of children wouldn't have lost their lives, to this sick, twisted individual. If you guys want to know more about this case, you guys could go look it up, read it and stuff like that. I warn you guys that it does get a very graphic and very... This is a sick, twisted individual, bro, that we're talking about here, right? But these are the people that have lived amongst us, that have really actually existed. Not Freddy Krueger, not Jason, not Michael Myers. No, these are real individuals, bro. What do you guys think? Have you guys heard of this case? Haven't heard of this case? Let me know. Leave your opinions in the comments, and Shadowy out.